Howdy BookTube, Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to do my August TBR. Now just to let you guys know right up front, most of the first half of August is going to stick along with the Friday Reads video you saw go up a couple weeks ago called Friday Reads MidAmerican Edition. I will put one of the cards in here and I will try to remember to link it down below. I listed a bunch of books by authors who are going to be at MidAmerican, Shades of Milk and Honey by Mary Robinette Kowal, Imprudence by Gail Carriger, and Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. I'm still in the process of reading all three of those, so all three of those will be done by about the second week in August, which is when MidAmerican is. So this pile is in addition to all of those books. I just wanted to give a caveat right up front because I know they weren't in the thumbnail, but rest assured those are still being read. So also kind of in that same vein of MidAmerican-y authors, I will also be hoping to get to The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. This is the third book in the Gentleman Bastard series. It comes after Red Seas Under Red Skies, and I am just really excited to get to it. I love these books. If you haven't picked up the Gentleman Bastard books yet, I highly, highly recommend that you do. Wonderful interpersonal communications, fantastic characters, one of the best drawn fantasy worlds I've read probably since I read the first Patrick Rothfuss book, so definitely worth checking out. I'm not really going to say too much about this one because it is the third in the series and I don't really know much about it. Then we have, I'm going to get to the big four that you guys saw in the thumbnail. I am planning on reading, along with a bunch of other people, Nicole and Elena and Caitlin and perhaps a couple other people, the entire Finishing School series by Gail Carriger. The first one is Etiquette and Espionage. The second one is Curtsies and Conspiracies. The third one is Waistcoats and Weaponry. And the last one is Manners and Mutiny. So I am really, really looking forward to getting to these. These are set in the same world as her Parasol Protectorate and Custard Protocol books, but they are young adult based. They're geared towards some younger characters, and essentially the girls in this book are going to a finishing school that is both a finishing school and also a kind of spy academy. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that wit that Gail Carriger does so well played out in such an environment that will let her play with kind of gender norms and gender expectations and all of those things that I just think she does so super well. We are planning on reading about one book a week, which hopefully should be fairly manageable because they are young adult and they're not super long. Other than that, there are only a couple other things that I want to read. That's already kind of a pretty monstrous TBR if you include the books from my MidAmerican Friday Reads. So the other two books I have, the first one is the next book in my Dark Tower Adventures. This is book number 6, Song of Susanna. We're getting there, guys. I'm chugging along. I really, really want to wrap up the Dark Tower series in 2016, especially with the movie coming out in 2017. I'm pretty sure it's 2017. I haven't actually checked the date yet, but one way or the other, I really want to get these all wrapped up before I see the movie. You don't need to do that. The movie is only focused on the first book, The Gunslinger, but I just feel like it's one of those type A completionist things in me that I just really want to not have these kind of lingering in the back of my mental TBR anymore. So this is book 6. It is much shorter than books 4 and 5, so hopefully it should not take as long. Susanna is also one of my favorite characters in the book, so I'm hoping that a book that's kind of more focused on her and kind of the female aspect of the Dark Tower will really work for me. I have heard this is the one where Stephen King starts to write himself into the book, so it gets very meta and very weird. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I will report back with my feelings on that, but I'm still really excited to get to this one. And the last book on my TBR is the next book for the Magical Space Pussycats. Yeah, that episode should already have gone live, so you guys will know that we are skipping our kind of 2-week schedule. We're going to skip an episode and come back in about a month because we have con stuff going on. Everybody is busy going to cons, whether that's Nine Worlds or MidAmerican. So we picked, it's Fantasy's turn. It's time to read a fantasy book. So we picked one that was a little bit shorter. This is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. This is the first book in the Dragon Riders of Pern series. So it's a little bit shorter. It should be a little bit easier to recap in a single episode without the episode being like 3 hours long because all of us girls love to talk a lot. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. I've never read the Dragon Riders of Pern, but I do love dragon books. So I'm really excited to see how this one shapes up. I have heard later on in the series things start to veer a little bit more towards the sci-fi fantasy combination, but early on in this first one, it should be pretty kind of classical fantasy. It was also published in the late 60s for the first time, so we're going back even further into the Lady Vaults, which excites me to just absolutely no end. And that's it, you guys. That is my August TBR, ambitious though it may be. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, if you want to read any of them, if you're going to any conventions coming up in the next couple of months. I know convention season is about to kind of kick off in a really crazy way, so let me know down below if you have any plans. As always, I am here for your comments, questions, concerns, and if you want to talk books, you can find all my social media links in the down bar. Until next time, guys, happy reading.